from Sudan. So today I'm going to inform you a little more about my home country. So to start, whenever you think of the pyramids, whatever comes to your brain at first is probably Egypt. But did you know that Sudan is home to pyramids more than Egypt? According to Big7Travel.com, the country of Sudan has over 200 pyramids, more than Egypt, built by the ancient Nubian civilization from as early as 2500 BC. I accessed this article on October 1st, and it was published in 2017. So the Nubian pyramids were built by the Nubians who lived during the ancient Kush kingdom. So they were the kings, and they basically built their own pyramids, and they used it as a royal cemetery and some as decoration. Some queens actually were found buried in some pyramids on the eastern side of Sudan. And if you look at the picture, you might see that few of them are actually broken. That's because this treasure hunter called Giuseppe Ferlini, I hope I pronounced that correctly, he's Italian. He destroyed and robbed up to 30 pyramids according to an article that was posted on travel.novi.com. But still, Sudan is the country with the most pyramids according to the same source. The country has between 200 and 250 pyramids compared to Egypt's roughly 138, making it the country with the most pyramids. This article was published on July 2017. So it was nice to see that most of the people who took the survey might consider visiting Sudan. But unfortunately, that's not a good idea because it's very conflicted right now and it's corrupted. And it's important to note that according to the US Department of State issued a level 4 do not travel to Sudan advisory due to crime, civil unrest, and armed conflict. According to the US travel.state.gov, Sudan is experiencing sporadic civil unrest and protests across the country. If you don't know what civil unrest is, it's basically like when there's too much civil disobedience and which law enforcement can actually control their authority, and which increases the crime rate. This article was, the source was an article that was published on October 2022. And also, the United States travel.state.gov told us that it is very not safe because there are some communication disruptions which happened during the protest. And the reason why the government do that, they shut down the internet and communication services to limit the number of information or the amount of information that is spread, and just to keep the numbers low and so people can keep track of number of victims and stuff like that. So even though people in Sudan were peacefully protesting and asking for what's theirs, of course, their rights, the law enforcement and security agents had to respond violently with using tear gas and beating and arresting thousands of people. According to Al Jazeera, the Sudanese military authorities have met the protests with a deadly crackdown, which has so far killed 113 people, including 18 children. This was published on July 1st, 2022. The Sudanese military has committed many anti-human crimes. At least 500 people have been injured, and at least 7 people were killed over the first month of protests. The data was collected by the UN Office for Humanitarian Affairs. So the protest actually happened for various reasons. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but there was one goal that all people wanted, all Sudanese people. We just wanted a civilian-led government, not a government that came via a military coup. If you don't know what a military coup is, it's basically when the military takes over the country presidency because they have power. So we didn't want that. We wanted to take it down, and we wanted a normal government. So we successfully took down the old government on April 6th, but we were countered with another military coup, which is very common in Africa. So the people didn't actually stop, and they continued doing their thing. They continued going outside and protest every day until June 3rd, when a massacre was committed in the middle of the capital. The Rapid Support Forces and the police used gunfire, tear gases to disperse the sitting Vice protest in Khartoum, and more than 100 people were killed, with difficulties, of course, in estimating the actual numbers, because they usually cut down the internet after every protest. And yeah, so today I didn't want to go into a lot of details. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of where I came from, and I just didn't want to give you the dark side only. So that's why I included some of the good things about my country. So I hope I've informed you guys about some things that you didn't know.
Okay, go ahead.
I like how you talked about your country in depth, the good and the bad, and I could see that it was a little bit difficult for you to talk about that, so thank you.
Yeah, you seem very confident, and you knew a lot about it because you're from there. You just sound very informative with your speech.
Thanks.
I thought you did a really good job of citing your sources and being really clear about, when you accessed it